What's up, everybody? First official Monkey Wrench TV video, and I know I said I'd only vlog when I felt like it, but Eric is here in the car with me. He presented me an opportunity that seemed good for vlogging. So Eric, what are we doing?
We want to pick up some LS heads.
And why are we picking up LS heads?
Because LS is God.
There you go. I'm not the only one saying it. The LS engine is the engine for you and me and everyone, really. You can put it in, I've seen it in Mazdas, and that's just ridiculous. 240s, so you can LS swap basically anything. So yeah, here we are on I-90 just outside of Schaumburg right now, going to pick up some heads for the name of the truck we are in right now is Kevin. Kevin has had a head gasket leak for what, a year now, you said?
A little over a year, yeah.
So Eric is the friend I was telling you all about that's moving to Arizona, and he is taking Kevin on Thursday to Arizona and figured, hey, now might be a good time to put some new heads on it. So we'll see how that goes. He said he might need some help from me this weekend. So yeah, just driving to get some heads. Got some Culvers on the way. Shameless plug for Culvers. It's pretty great, and if they want to ever give me money, I'd totally like that. Anybody ever wanted to give me money, I'd also really like that. So yeah, with this I'm just, you know, like I said, vlog, kind of talking and conversating, seeing what, oh, that's where Medieval Times is. I haven't been out this way in a really long time. So there's Medieval Times. I hope you can see that because my phone's off and I don't have a screen on this. Yeah, so Eric, you got anything on your mind for the automotive world to hear?
Just a hello. That is it. More to come.
Alright, so I forgot to mention when I started this video, I apologize for it being dark, but I work until 5 o'clock, and when I get off work, it's dark. So we didn't leave till 5:45. You get to hear the lovely sound of my voice and the LS rumble that... Just so everyone knows, he actually did have to change lanes and pass a car, so that wasn't just... It just happened to be good timing. So yeah, going to pick up some cylinder heads, like we've said about 3 or 4 times now. I guess now would be a good time for a little tech tip if you wanted it. So in a cam and block design, the cylinder head possesses all the valve train components. So that's where your air comes in, your exhaust gases go out and into the exhaust manifold, also known as the headers. Apparently there's a cop somewhere around here. So yeah, headers are cylinder heads are very important and can actually do a lot for your engine. Like, make sure your coolant stays inside of it, which is what Kevin's problem is. So
Simple fix.
yeah.
Should be done in a weekend. Talk to me 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Oh man, here's a good story for you guys. So my brother, last October, I think?
Yeah, around there.
It was last fall, about a year ago. He had just turned 16 and was looking to buy his first car. So he ended up buying a Jeep Cherokee. He is totally in love with it. It's a great car. I am a huge Jeep fan. Jeeps, classic muscle, trucks, stuff like that. So I was all about it. And when we got there, you know, it looked okay. The guy only wanted $2,600 for it, so it was practically a steal. 150,000 miles on it with the Jeep 4-liter, which never dies. The transmissions will give out on you. Chrysler transmissions in the 90s were junk, but the engine will live forever. So we thought we were getting a good deal. There wasn't too much rust on it or anything, but the suspension needed some work, and it's a Jeep, so you know you need new suspension. Why not go out, put a lift kit on? And I had just started my automotive technology degree. Eric is about a year ahead of me in the, year and a half ahead of me in the program, because you're already done. Yeah. So we're like, oh yeah, you know, just my brother can go buy a lift kit and we'll install it in my garage. And that seems like a really great idea, you know, done in a weekend, until you start taking everything apart. So naturally, I ended up being the one doing most of the work because it was my brother's car. And I broke off, I think, what was it, 2 shock mount bolts before I decided finally to stop because we didn't have a torch. But we had already gotten the U-bolts off from the leaf springs. And the U-bolts are what hold the axle to the suspension. So like basically the only thing holding a rear end into a car with a leaf spring design is the U-bolts, the drive shaft. Wow, I can't believe I couldn't think of the word drive shaft. That's pretty much it. And the brake lines, I guess, but those won't last very long if that's all that's holding your car together. So I already taken the U-bolts off and thrown them away. At this point, we decided, because we were having so much trouble, I forgot to mention there was also a leaf spring bolt stuck in the bushing that just kept spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and wouldn't come out. So we decided to stop. And the next day, Eric uses U-Haul like nobody's business. Like I said, he's on car 17, so he's used U-Haul a lot. So we rented a U-Haul trailer to bring my brother's Jeep to an actual shop that knows what they're doing. We tried to drive the Jeep onto the trailer, and in the process of doing that, the drive shaft fell out because that was the only thing holding the car together at that point. So now there's nothing holding the car together anymore except gravity. So we made what, like 4 or 5 Advance Auto Parts trips to try and get this back together. We bought, like, I think it ended up being a lowering kit or something, and just using my other friend's Milwaukee battery powered bandsaw to shorten these bolts up and try and get U-bolts back on there. It didn't work at all. So now not only did we have broken suspension components, we also had a broken drive shaft. My brother was not the happiest guy in the world with me at that point, and he had every right not to be, because I just cost him quite a bit of money by saying I could do something that I wasn't able to do. So after this, it took us, what, another like 3 hours trying just to get the car onto the trailer. We ended up having to wrap ratchet straps around the axle and in the front to drag this thing back on the trailer, and it was a nightmare. So
Correction, it was about 4 hours in the rain.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it was about 40 degrees in the rain because it was October. Yeah, so I learned very quickly that unless you have good tools, which I didn't, I had a really cheap Craftsman tool set and that was it. Try not to do big jobs. So that was always fun. Oh look, that's where I graduated, everybody. That is the Sears Center Arena. I had my high school graduation there. Fun fact, I know probably half of you that are from the Illinois area watching this are gonna say, oh yeah, dingus, everyone graduates at the Sears Center. I was only the second graduating class in my high school to do that, so it was pretty cool. I guess that means we're off in the States now, right? Yeah. So, just trucking.
I graduated in the gym of my high school. You didn't do that?
No, we had too many people.
Oh, alright, that makes sense.
I think my graduating class was like 500.
I think mine was 250.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, I guess while I have you in the car, oh man, we're already at 10 minutes. Okay. But anyway, I guess while I have you in the car, do you remember how we ended up meeting? Like, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago? Or am I gonna have to remind you? I'm gonna have to remind you.
I think it's through Pat.
It was through Pat. We have a mutual friend named Pat.
Shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat. Great guy, love him. Not a car guy. We have taken him go-karting and it was bad.
We took him on an automotive trip to Michigan and he still hates cars.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So if you can't tell, you probably can't. I'm trying to like look at my phone and see if you can see it. I'm wearing a Roadkill hat. Roadkill is like my favorite YouTube show of all time. Would you agree with that?
Oh, completely.
Okay. Roadkill is awesome. If none of you have seen Roadkill, you need to watch it. It's a life-changing experience. So we ended up going to Roadkill Nights with our friend Pat, who introduced us. Pat doesn't like cars at all. He was just like, oh cool, camping, and came along with us and watched the drag racing. And I mean, he definitely had a good time, but it wasn't nearly as good a time as Eric and I were having. Yeah, so Eric and I met because I met this kid named Pat through some other mutual friends that I went to middle school with. They ended up going to the Catholic high school in town. I went to the public high school. I found out Pat lives literally 5 minutes from my house, and I'd never heard of the kid before in my life. So we get introduced, we hit it off, and then one day, Pat just out of the blue texted me like, hey, you want out? I want to hang out, I got a couple of friends over. And Eric was one of those friends, and started talking about cars and just went from there. And now we're driving once again to St. Charles to get some cylinder heads.
If you guys forgot.
I think what I'm gonna do, just because I've said the word cylinder heads so many times, if I can get decent at editing in the next 24-48 hours, I might try and keep a running tab of the number of times I've said cylinder heads in this video in the bottom, because that could be funny.
We can do
If you'll remember from my first video, I said I think I'm funny, and I'm probably proving right now that I am a liar. I try really hard, and most of the time I fall flat on my face.
You're very good at saying the word cylinder head, though. You got that going for you.
Which is nice. That is a Caddyshack reference. If you haven't seen it, watch it. There is one scene that I have to caution about, because I didn't know it was in there, and I watched it with my ex-girlfriend.
What was that? Cool scene?
No, it's like the one sex scene in the whole movie.
Oh, with Chevy Chase?
No, it was whoever plays Danny Noonan. Yeah, I didn't know there was a sex scene in the movie, and I was over at my ex's house, and we watched it with her family. And her, I want to say 80 or 85-year-old grandmother, and her dad ran up to the TV and started fast forwarding through it, but you could still see everything. It was traumatizing. Yeah, I have nightmares about it. Not actually, but when I think about it, I cringe. So don't do that. Watch it on your own or with a group of friends that aren't going to be weirded out by that kind of stuff. Alright, well, we're at about 13 minutes now, which I guess is good vlog length. So I'm going to cut it off here, again, at least for now. I am going to show you guys some glamour shots of the cylinder heads. There we go again. Once we pick them up, and maybe do a little bit more talking on the way back if we can think of more fun, interesting stuff to say. And yeah, see you in a few minutes, I guess. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Craigslist deal is done. We are back at my house. Eric's dropping me off. We're alive, so it was not a Craigslist deal gone bad. Craigslist deal gone good. Look at the shininess. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a cylinder head. And quick sneak preview, if you really want to see something kind of gross, that's my truck right there that we're going to be doing a little bit of a joke review with. Like I said, 97 Chevy K1500, which means it has four-wheel drive. C is two-wheel drive. Here's your little trivia for the night. It's so beat up, but we're going to have some fun with it. So yeah,
we're live.
We're live. Want to say any last words, even though we're live?
LS is God.
Always. LS is always God. All right, take care, everybody. Stay safe. Don't make bad choices. But remember, shenanigans is always a good thing.